Yep, it's official. I'm running out of words to say at this point. It's a wrap. I do not know what's going on anymore. I really don't. This story today is one of those stories that when you read it, it just makes you sit back for a very long time and just think to yourself, what is going on? And how did we reach this point? In schools today, as we know, students are identifying more and more as whatever they choose, from boys saying they're girls to girls saying they're boys, or boys and girls saying they're non-binary. It's absolutely ridiculous. But one thing that seems to be becoming a trend below the surface is school children, students asking to be recognized as animals. Yeah, you heard me correct. As animals. You know, if you've ever wondered, and I shouldn't be laughing at this, but if you've ever wondered how bad parenting is right now, this is just proof it's getting worse and worse, and it's very concerning that schools are allowing this to happen. Instead of acting normal, because normality is this forgotten thing, they are complying with this and reaffirming delusion. Society needs help. Now, before I get into this mind-blowing story, if you could, ladies and gentlemen, you know the rules by now, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video, comment on this video, share this video. And I'm going to be honest, I can see in the corner of my eye what I've got to read next, and it just makes me want to leave this planet. Anybody else joining? The Telegraph have reported schoolboy allowed to identify as a wolf.
Help me! Help me!
The pupil claims to suffer from species dysphoria, a non-clinical condition in which an individual feels their body belongs to a different species. Teachers at the secondary school in Britain are understood to be supporting the child's decision, the Daily Mail reports. A growing number of school children have asked to be officially recognised as animals, including cats, foxes, birds and dinosaurs. Tom McKay, a clinical neuropsychologist, told the Daily Mail there is no such condition in science as species dysphoria. I'm not even a neuropsychologist and I could have told you that. This is one of the only times you're going to see me not knowing what to say, because it's just reached this point where even I can't even get the words out of my mouth to describe what's going on. And again, I shouldn't be laughing, but we have a school here who is allowing a pupil, to identify as a wolf because of species dysphoria, this made-up term they've come up with. I wonder where they heard this. Maybe social media, their parents, who knows? Look, when we were younger, we all thought we were different things. I mean, this is at secondary school, so that's kind of concerning as well. But we thought we were like, I don't know, robots, whatever. But this isn't the same as that, right? This is completely different because we have pupils here genuinely asking to be recognized as animals because they genuinely feel like they identify as that animal. And as this article is going to say in a second, it is also to do with things like the furry phenomenon, which is where people dress up as these wolf-like characters who look very colorful. I mean, me personally, it looks like a mental illness, especially when you see adults dressing up like that. Something's not right up there. But we have pupils, who are asking to be recognized as these animals. And schools are complying. Like this one. Help, please. The local authority, which has not been disclosed, said the people belonged to a group who called themselves furries and identified with an animal persona. The council said a wellbeing worker offered personal and specific support for such cases, including counselling and help with learning, adding there is very little specific guidance on species dysphoria. And I wonder why that one is as well. Maybe because, as the neuropsychologist said, this condition is not a condition in science. Look, you know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm going to be very inclusive right now, very stunning and brave. If this pupil wants to identify as a wolf and wants to be recognized as a wolf, the only appropriate thing to do is, just chuck them in the wild. If they want to do it so much, put them out in the forest. Let them live their life as a wolf. I mean, this was always going to happen when you allow people to identify as whatever, right? There's no boundaries. And if you disagree with it, you get labeled as the mean and hateful person. I'm sure there's somebody watching right now who has stumbled across this video and is sat there and is very angry because I disagree with a pupil being able to identify as a wolf. That is, I don't know, bigotry or something. And maybe if they don't come across this video, that is how people out there really feel about certain things like this. You know what? It kind of reminds me of that segment from the What is a Woman documentary where Matt Walsh interviews a trans person, I think it is, where they also identify as a wolf. If you haven't seen it, take a look.
I am a 27-year-old transgender woman. I am a wolf-therian and a member of the furry fandom.
When and how did you discover this inner wolfness?
Probably around age 10 or 11. I was watching an anime about wolves and see the wolf running across the screen, and I'm somehow just intrinsically like, oh, that's me.
Have you spent any time around biological wolves?
Yes.
That sounds dangerous also. What context are you?
So I was a volunteer with a preserve, and I've also visited many wolf preserves.
Are you able to communicate with the wolves?
Am I going to have a conversation with a wolf in the way that I'm communicating you and I? Obviously not. Am I going to read their body language, respond appropriately to their behaviors and their nonverbal cues? Yes.
Would you be able to give us an example of this wolf communication?
No. I'm not comfortable doing so.
Okay.
We're cooked, ladies and gentlemen. Society. It's done. Now I want to play you this segment from Talk TV where the host, Alex Phillips, and another guest just absolutely destroy this fad. Take a watch.
What are we going to have next? After trans rights, are we going to have, like, I don't know, multiple personality disorder? Everyone just have 50 different names and identities, and schizophrenia is cool. Let's all have that as well. Let's make everything that is basically a mental illness desirable and encourage everyone to just go along with it. I mean, to me, this is harmful beyond belief. This poor secondary school child needs help, not affirmation.
Yes, and the real problem here is it sounds like a big joke, but it is happening. And what's happening is that instead of safeguarding and putting the safety and the well-being of children first, they're sort of taking an identity-led approach and a children's rights approach, and that really has no place in a school. You know, it's not about how you identify. Every single child in that school is either a boy or a girl, and sometimes that matters, and you have to recognize that. And by the way, we are hearing stories like this wolf story and cat stories too from all over the country. This is not as isolated as people might think. But because everyone's afraid now that you've got to affirm every identity, they're getting in a real muddle here where they're having to indulge this kind of nonsense. I agree with you. I don't think it's good for the child, but I especially think it gets in the way of proper safeguarding.
Yeah, I think it does. And actually, it doesn't just get in the way of safeguarding. A failure to safeguard, frankly, and actually encourage people who seem to be suffering any sort of mental health problem, to me, is actually a form of child abuse from people who are supposed to be parents and guardians.
I don't know what's going on in this country anymore, ladies and gentlemen. I really don't. It kind of feels like, to me, you know, when we hear about these stories, regardless where it's from, because you hear mostly about these stories sometimes in America, but no, as the guest said as well, it is happening a lot more than people realize in the UK. But it just feels like we are living in a time where society is about to collapse. A strong society that is thriving and is doing well and is healthy, physically, mentally, spiritually, isn't allowing kids, pupils, to identify as a wolf, identify as the opposite gender, whatever. And that's what it kind of feels like. We're just allowing everything to happen in the name of, I don't know, be kind. Are they doing it because they think it's really progressive? Wow, this is fantastic. What are we doing? But leave your thoughts down below, ladies and gentlemen. What are your thoughts on this story? I'd like to know. You can probably describe it better than I can, because I'm running out of words, as I said. If you have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button, turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video, comment on this video, share this video, follow my socials down below in the description. And until next time, it has been your boy JD. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'm out. Peace. Like, even when I go peace like that, I don't have the energy to get me off this planet, man.